Without further ado, let's get to our Climate Insight session. This is our Climate Finance Catalyst contest launch by the Climate Safe Lending Network. We've got James Vaccaro, who's got the coolest title in the world, Chief Catalyst. Who here is a chief catalyst? Stick your hand up. Who feels like they're a chief catalyst? There you go. So James is chief catalyst at Climate Safe Lending Network, and Aaron Morehouse, PhD, executive director at Climate Safe Lending Network. Let's give it up. A big round of applause for the gentlemen.
So we're going to do things differently. We're not going to sit down. We're going to have some up energy because it's at the end of the day, and we're all about doing things differently. Aaron.
Yes, definitely about doing things differently. Great to have you all here. Aaron Morehouse, Executive Director for the Climate Safe Lending Network. And the Climate Safe Lending Network is doing things differently. We are an organization, a multi-stakeholder collaborative of individuals in banks and academic institutions, in civil society organizations, and organizations within the periphery around banks that are working to accelerate the decarbonization of lending institutions.
Yeah. And we've launched the Climate Finance Catalyst contest because we feel we need some new ideas. Who feels that they've got all the tools that they need finance to be able to get through the transition? That's sure. Zero people. That's zero people. Yeah. Who's felt they've heard amazing ideas so far this week at COP? There's a few. That's great. We're going to hear from. Yes. We're going to hear from. That's great. Let's hold that. Who would, if you had those great ideas, want to really scale those up in your institutions? Would want to tell the world about them? Would want to catalyze to get things to go faster? Who's up for that? Great.
So that's why we're here at COP. We have just launched this Climate Finance Catalyst contest so that we are looking for the best ideas that are out there to go faster, to go further, to go fairer. Those faster ideas, the ways to be able to accelerate the transition, further meaning those new ideas going into the fringe and the ways in which that we can go beyond the typical instruments and approaches within banks. I mean, we've heard this week about some really amazing ideas and activities around green bonds and blended finance. But those are forms of structuring and instruments that are, have a new way to be used. But what else can we do? Is it just using the things that we already know? And is it just talking to those that are within our financial institutions to say, what are those new ideas? What are the new ways that we can go faster, go further, and go fairer to move a just transition? And so we're looking for ideas that are not just coming from financial institutions and from banks, but anywhere in the world. Anyone out there that has an idea that can help us to go faster, further, and fairer.
So we know why finance, right? Finance's role in being able to do things in the real economy. Finance acts as an amplifier. It is the biggest amp we have. We can either do the things we know, and that leads to inertia, or we can take on the new approaches. We can drive this flywheel of endogenous growth and lead to real momentum. And then we can really scale things up. Day one on COP, there was a $450 million pledge for the Loss and Damage Fund. Well, we're in finance, so we understand numbers. The Net Zero Banking Alliance is $75 trillion. To reach $75 trillion, if you were doing $450 million a day, you'd need to be doing that every day for 500 years. So let's use the scale of the financial institution power to supercharge these ideas from wherever they come from. Maybe entrepreneurs, maybe clients, maybe people who you know who've been thinking about finance, who've got an idea. That's what we're wanting to catalyze, because the challenge isn't just about allocation. There was a quote from Ian Sim at Impacts. Big shout out to Impacts, great respect. And he said, The real trouble is there's a dearth of investable assets out there. And there's people who say, well, there's not enough stuff which is bankable. Well, there's two options. We either wait for some deus ex machina kind of thing to come down from the heavens and make it bankable, or we need to figure out how we can work with stakeholders in new constellations, new approaches, maybe new technology, maybe just something about the art of how we are connecting between different people to make things bankable in new ways.
Saw a lot of hands out there of ideas. We've heard some good ideas here at COP. And to enter this contest is not a laborious process. It'll take you just a short bit of time to be
5 minutes. 5-minute process.
Maybe a little bit longer, but
it depends on my thinking time.
It is not a laborious process, and we have an esteemed panel of judges. David Carlin, who was speaking here earlier today from UNEPFI, Nigel Topping, Nilly Gilbert. We've got folks that represent not just UNEPFI, but also from the Global Alliance for Banking on Values.
We're not offering cash prizes. There's a bigger prize at stake. The people we want to work with and the ideas we want to be able to draw out, we work on a daily basis with all sorts of institutions who are wanting to put these ideas into action. The British Business Bank, First Abu Dhabi Bank, other partners who we work with around the world are looking to be able to pilot these ideas, to be able to take them to scale, to figure out how we can not scale by replication, but by inspiration. So in terms of how to enter, how to get these ideas out, and it'd be great if we had a few minutes to hear some of those ideas. There were a few hands earlier, and it'd be great to catch some of that energy, is describe the challenge. Necessity is the mother of invention. So understanding the necessity, the precise kind of dynamics of the challenge, is that springboard into the idea. I was on a round table, a ministerial round table, a few weeks ago. It was in India. They were describing the current heat stress, the urban heat islands, and everyone's strapping on air conditioning because it's now kind of a matter of life or death. And what you see, and you may have seen these images of air conditioning being put into these apartments, blowing the hot air out, and about 10 yards over the road, there's another apartment block who are strapping on the air conditioning to blow the same hot air back across the street. And we've seen just in those nature finance, nature-based solutions, you know, all these green, funky buildings, all this innovation in the innovation zone. We can do things differently, but we've kind of become creatures of habit, and we've got our products set up to do things which aren't necessarily optimal. How do we break, how do we disrupt that? How do we catalyze that? So understanding the challenge, describing the innovation, the new products, the new idea which could catch on, that's what we want to be able to take and share and help others in finance to be able to use and adopt and scale.
We're at such a critical time right now with the climate crisis and the need for innovation, and we see it across so many sectors. You see it here in the innovation zone, the different types of new tech that's coming out, so many different sectors, transportation, energy. But where is the innovation in finance? Innovation in finance that's beyond what we already know.
Who's got, if we have time and we can't get booted out, there were some sort of innovation ideas people had seen. It doesn't matter how crazy or left field it is. Give us the one sentence short version of something you've seen. Yeah, can we get a mic over there? That'd be great. To the gentleman in this. Hey.
Oh.
It'll come on. I'm sure it'll come on. I have faith.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, yeah, so I'm Eli. I work at UBS in Switzerland, Zurich, and my idea is the following one. So we're working on a concept called impact accounting, where we have 4 different capitals. So we have natural capital, human capital, social capital, and financial capital, all together in integrated integrated profit and loss statement, basically. Right. And we basically monetize all these topics that you see in sustainability report. So greenhouse gas emission in tons, water consumption in cubic meters, waste in tons as well. We monetize them. So we basically transform them into USD. And that's our idea, basically. And we have, I can actually demonstrate this model to you later. It's a very interesting one. And I would like every company in the world to do this, start reporting numbers, to shift the items from sustainability report to financial report.
Wonderful. We're going to come see you outside. We're going to come see you outside.
Definitely.
Who's got another one? Who's got another one?
An entry in less than 5 minutes, right
Absolutely.
there. See?
Absolutely.
All right.
Who's got another one? We saw hands. We saw hands earlier.
We got one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Back over here.
Over there. Over there. Far corner at the back. We good for a couple of minutes? That's great.
Hey, so this is a very impromptu idea, and I'm looking for feedback. So I would love to work on an idea to de-risk small-scale climate projects by providing guarantees from, let's say, loss and damage funds and other climate finance available in the market.
Great. Thank you.
That's
big topic, big challenge. Lots of ideas I've seen in that area. Again, what's the kernel of the ideas we've got? We've got another one at the back right there. It's very close by. My eyes are dazzled by the lights, but I can see somebody waving.
I have one.
Oh yeah, you've got a mic, so we'll take.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hello. So an idea is to switch from a net zero point of view to a zero point of view, and the target is to have no more engine who use fossil fuel, no fossil energy, and we can ask country to define a sunset date for each type of engine, and in the engagement of financial institutions that can ask to corporate to have sunset date to the sale of those products that uses fossil fuel.
Great.
And through this way, it will really ease the discussion also at international level. You only have to have a date for each type of fossil fuel user, so the engine.
Thank you. I'm loving. We started a flow. We're going to have to. Well, I want to see all these people afterwards. And there was just lady right at the back. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Madsen, Cleantech Innovation Norway. I'm working with some very interesting companies on sustainable mobility. We have an electric solar fuel ferry that will save millions of tons of CO2 emissions and provide clean air on inland and near coast waterways. And instead of chasing financial institutions, I would like you to come and chase me.
Okay.
And then finally, actually, we also have a Norwegian company that are making solar fuel e-trikes and mini cars. So if anybody is interested, please come and find me too. Thank you.
So many ideas. Scratch the surface. There's the inner creative. You all know people on LinkedIn, on your social network, outside, maybe at dinner tonight. Get them to go to climatesafelending.org. Have a look. Get them to share. We all have this. We all have this within us. I think we're gonna.
Also, just come find us afterwards.
Absolutely.
We'll give you
There's a few we
QR
didn't get
code.
to.
You'll be all set.
And we'd love to speak to you all. We'd love to speak to you all. End of the year, December the 31st, before midnight. We want to read your entries and yeah, we'll take it further.
We'll start reading them at midnight
when
the ball drops.
We're going to start at midnight.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
Okay.
25 days to get your entries in. That was inspiring. We've got a good audience here. They've got some great ideas. Thank you so much to James and Aaron. And do jump on them out there when you see them. Give them your ideas, because that's what it's all about.